Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's vlog. As you can see, we're in a completely different location. We have made it down to Victoria. We're currently in Cape Schanck. I'm going to take you along as we do our holiday. If you have missed the last few vlogs, I've mentioned I am going to be a guest speaker at the Australian Soaping and Candle conference this month, and hubby and I decided to make a real holiday of it, and we're spending 10 days down here in Victoria, and we're going to start traveling and having a bit of a look around. So I thought I'd bring you guys and show you some of this beautiful country that we've got. So as I said, we're down at Cape Schanck at the moment. We're staying at the RACV resort. We're not in the main building, which was the one I showed as we were pulling up. Instead, we were down in what they call an ocean view room. It's one of the standard rooms. It was the one I could afford to book us in, but it is absolutely stunning. I think I actually prefer this to that big main building up the top. We've got absolutely stunning views. It's so peaceful as well. Tonight, hubby and I are going to head off to the Peninsula Hot Springs, where I have got us a dine and bathe book. So we're going to go and bathe in the pools, and then we go and dine in the restaurant, which is all healthy eating sort of food. So really looking forward to that. And then for the rest of the trip, I'm going to take you along and show you some of the other things that we are going to get up and sort of do, some of the things that we've booked to see, and I will also show a little bit about the conference too. One thing I will say, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from you guys down in Melbourne, but oh my god, do you guys drive insanely. It is almost like the traffic lights are there just for decoration, and the lines on the road just mean absolutely nothing. I'm so glad we've taken out the extra insurance on the car, because it's just absolutely hilarious. The amount of people we've seen just drive straight through red lights, the way they cut across lanes, it is terrifying but so funny at the same time. So hopefully we make our trip. We'll wait and see. I'll see if we can catch some of it on footage. It's just absolutely insane. But before hubby and I actually do head off to the hot springs, we're going to go and find ourselves some bottles of water and a few little snacks and a bit of milk for me to go in the fridge as well, so we can have coffee. We're down here for 2 nights. Tomorrow we're hopefully going to head over to Phillip Island, and I'll show you a little bit about that. So let's get on with this holiday. I think it's amazing how 1 minute the sun's up and then 30 seconds later it's below the horizon, and yet all day it's up in the sky and doesn't seem to move as fast as it does once it's down on that horizon. Hey guys, excuse my rather messy spa hair. I didn't take the camera with me into the spa because it really was just a wonderful treat, and I didn't take the phone around with me either to get any footage, but it was absolutely amazing. If you are visiting down in the Mornington Peninsula area of Victoria, you have got to go to the Peninsula Hot Springs. They are just absolutely amazing. Lots of pools of hot springs, all at different temperatures, and then they've got cold plunge pools. There were infrared saunas, there were wood saunas, there were steam rooms, there were massage showers. There was so much there, and we spent an hour walking around trying all the different pools, and then we went and had our dinner, and it was just absolutely fantastic. We have just got back, and as you just saw, the sun has set. On our way back we actually went up to the lighthouse, which is about that way. We went up there to have a bit of a look, and then we got back here, we realized the sun was setting, so I decided to capture that. But now I think what we're going to do is we grabbed ourselves a bottle of wine. We're going to sit and have a couple of glasses of wine, and then tomorrow we're going to head over to Phillip Island, because hubby is a big V8 super fan, and I promised him we could go to Phillip Island because that's where one of the racetracks is. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Good morning. It is about 9:15. We have been up for a little while now. We've just gone and had breakfast in the resort. It was a full buffet breakfast, and oh my goodness, it would have to be one of the best buffet breakfasts I have seen in a long time. Hubby and I used to work at the Sheraton Mirage up at Port Douglas, and they did a pretty specky buffet breakfast. and this one definitely tops it. Well worth going in to have a look. I didn't take the camera in, didn't think people would want to be filmed eating. A few vlogs ago I mentioned how I'd seen all these people talking about how Queenslanders get up super early and do all these things, and you know, we're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think I now understand why so many people are completely and utterly shocked at how early Queenslanders get up. I woke up at about 6:30 this morning, and I figured I still had a couple more hours to sleep because it was pitch black out here. It was just so dark. I could have sworn it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Had a couple more hours, but no, it was 6:30. It was still pretty dark at 7:30 this morning, so I now actually understand why people were saying about Queenslanders getting up so early. It is now about 8:45, and it is a very overcast day, but it is still actually not as bright as what I would think it should be. But we are up. We've been and had our breakfast up at the resort. Absolutely beautiful. We are now actually going to go and head off towards Phillip Island and go and explore around there for the day. So let's go and see what we can find. So we had a bit of a look around in the circuit area. We were a bit disappointed there wasn't too much to do about the V8 supercars, but then again, I suppose they only race them once a year, sort of around that track, and it's more about all the bikes. But hubby said that we could come here. I'm very much into my wildlife, so we have come to a koala reserve. We're going to go and have a bit of walk around in the bushland and go and see what wild koalas, and I am so super excited. You can't see this massive smile I have got on my face at the moment because I discovered we could go swimming with dolphins while we were down here, which is something I have wanted to do forever and ever and ever. I was meant to do them for my 40th birthday, but we all know what 2020 brought about, and I had to cancel the trip that we had initially booked. But while looking to see the sort of things that we could actually do while down here, I found a couple of different dolphin places. So on Saturday we're going to go swimming with dolphins and seals. I am so excited, but for now we're going to go and have a look for some koalas and maybe have a cuddle with one. Let's see, you have to move a little bit so people can see that you're alive. So it's really nice how they've actually done this little conservation park. So these are all wild trees that are in here, and they've kind of fenced it off, which keeps the koalas safe, and then they've put these boardwalks in for the humans to walk around, keeping them away from the koalas. But because it's such a cool day, it's only about 18 degrees today, they are a little bit more active, so we're very lucky to have come in here today. But it is absolutely stunning. It is so peaceful as well. Really pleased we've come through. So we've been and done a few of the things that I've been wanting to do, and now we are going to do something that hubby wants to do. He spotted this on the way into Phillip Island and asked if we could come to the chocolate factory. So let's go and take a look. So that was really nice in there. They came around with a few samples, so hubby got all of my samples too, and we were looking, and I managed to find a couple of the dark blocks which are actually dairy free, so I was able to pick some up for myself. But then hubby has got some milk, and he's also got a great big bag of chocolate buttons here as well. So we're going to start heading back now. We're going to go and find something small to eat before heading home, because we've got a big dinner booked in the restaurant tonight. I found somewhere for us to go and get a snack from. I remembered that we passed this farm and cafe, and they're meant to have like a petting zoo, and over in the background there they are just bringing in all the Jersey cows and they're going to milk them, so we get to go and watch that as well. So we're going to go and get something to snack on, and then we're going to keep heading on home. And then tomorrow we actually leave the Mornington Peninsula and we're going to head on around to Geelong into the Ballerine area. Hello. 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 Don't eat me. Hey, don't eat me. I'm not tasty. You got no teeth. Hey. Where are all your teeth? Nice. This is so cute. I love it. Good morning. It is 7:15. It is still dark. I just can't get used to this. It's Friday morning. I didn't do much recording yesterday on Thursday. We left the Mornington Peninsula and we drove all the way around to the Ballerine Peninsula, which is about a 3-hour drive, and we're now in a place called Portalington. We're actually staying in the caravan park this time round. It's a beautiful place, absolutely huge. Reason we ended up here, we were going to stay in Geelong, but there is a concert going on in Geelong, and I think it was the Saturday night was going to cost us something like $1,000 for I think it was like a 3-star hotel. Nothing wrong with 3-star hotels, we stay in them all the time, but I'm not paying $1,000 a night for a 3-star hotel at all. But because of this concert, the prices skyrocketed, so we came that bit further down into Portalington, and we're going to stay here. Beautiful, beautiful caravan park. Really, really windy last night, but beds are comfortable. We're in like a little self-contained cabin. We decided to get up early this morning, knowing it was still going to be dark. At home it would be nice and bright at almost 7 o'clock in the morning. But today we're going to go and do something that I have wanted to do or go and see for a very, very long time. A place called the 12 Apostles, which are basically some big limestone blocks that come up out of the ocean. And ever since we moved to Australia over 30 years ago, it is something that I've seen in the travel books and have always wanted to actually go and see. I think I'm disturbing the birds up in this tree up here, but we're going to go and see that. It's going to take us about 2.5 hours to get down to our starting point, which is down, it's just a little bit to the west of Port Campbell. And we're going to start, I think it was called Oh, I can't remember now. It's like this big rock pool area. We want to start there and then we're going to drive all the way back along the coastal road back to where we are. So we're going to have a huge day today, but there's lots of things down there I want to see. So I'm going to take you along. Didn't take you yesterday for any of the driving because it was literally just a big drive from one peninsula to the other, but we did stop off at Brighton to see the Brighton beach boxes and it was just like a real reminder of home. But today I will take you along. We're gonna finish our coffees and then we're gonna head off and I'll take you along. Alright, so we've been driving for a couple of hours and we were at the first place I wanted to stop at, which is called the Grotto. So we're right down the very bottom. It's about a 700-metre walk and then it should be a pretty spectacular view at the bottom.
No, not at all, not at all.
How absolutely stunning is this place? So we must be in low tide, and I would imagine in high tide this all fills up. Well worth the stop. I'm so pleased we did stop here. It is absolutely stunning. It is quite chilly though. It's about 11 degrees, so I'm starting to get a little bit white on the fingers. So we're going to head back to the car, and somewhere along this great ocean road we're going to stop and see the 12 Apostles. We've literally driven about 50 metres down the road and we have come across what is called London Bridge. Let's have a look at this one. Wow. That is stunning. So we've just made a quick stop in Port Campbell to go to the bathroom and things like that, and we've also just had a look at the map. We don't think there's another town for quite some way, so we're going to go and find something to eat before we continue our journey. But this is such a pretty beach. We gave up trying to find somewhere to eat in Port Campbell. We were there about 11:30, so the kitchens were all between between sort of closing hours, so we decided to keep on travelling down with the next stop. Oh, I'm walking on sand, being Lockhart Gorge, and then we're going to go on down to see the Apostles, and then hopefully we'll be on to Apollo Bay soon, and then we can go and get some lunch, but you probably can't hear it on the camera. We can hear the trickling of water in here. It's so peaceful. There's hubby having a good look around. I've dragged him down a whole heap of stairs to come and see this. And yes, there is some doofus who has decided to disobey the sort of rules and go right over into the caves. I was not expecting to see that. We're doing one of the other walks around by the Lockhart Gorge. This is absolutely stunning. This is the shipwreck walk. It has been an absolutely huge day of driving, but we have seen so much. I did get a bit of bad news today that the dolphin swim I've got booked for Saturday has been cancelled. So that's the second time I've booked myself to swim with dolphins and it's been cancelled, but we're still making the most of today. We have come down to Bells Beach. Now, if you think that name sounds familiar, it is the beach that features in the Point Break movie with Keanu Reeves, and it is also where all of the big surf competitions happen. Down here, let's see if we can zoom in and see anyone. You can see all of those surfers down there waiting for the waves. Apparently we get some really, really good waves along this beach. Hubby's already come down to the lookout, so I'm going to head down there with him. We are on our way home. We're probably about another hour away from the caravan park, so we're going to keep heading home. We're going to have some fish and chips for dinner, and then because tomorrow's plans have just been thrown out the water, we've decided we're going to go to Ballarat for the morning, because we do have a steam train excursion booked for tomorrow, which that hasn't yet been cancelled, so we're looking forward to that. But yeah, we're going to start heading home after this little stop. Good morning. It is Saturday and it's the hottest day we're going to have while we're here. It is going to be 34 where we're going, but 38. There's huge fire dangers around. Today was the day we were meant to go do dolphin swim, but as you know from yesterday, that has been cancelled. So instead today we're going to head over to Ballarat and we're going to go and do Sovereign Hill and just be tourists for the day. So you can probably hear and see why the boat trip got cancelled today. We're about 88 kilometres away from the coast and the wind is just absolutely horrific. So it would have been awful out in that boat today. It's meant to be 34 degrees, but it's only sitting about 21, and with this wind, it's even colder. But we did just go up into the city of Ballarat. We found the cathedral, which is what makes Ballarat a city. If you didn't know that, cities have to have a cathedral in them to be called a city. So we did find the cathedral, looked very pretty. Even though it's 10 o'clock, not much was open for a Saturday morning, but we have decided we are going to be tourists for the day. I'm just waiting for hubby to come after putting on his sunscreen. But we're going to be tourists and we're going to go into Sovereign Hill. And for those of you that don't know, Sovereign Hill is one of the original gold mining places here in Australia. And this little amusement park is actually set up like it would have been back in the day, and apparently everyone's in costume and things like that. So we're going to go and have a look. I'm hoping to find a nice piece of gold jewellery to take home, and hubby's trying to find a really nice hat as well. So let's go and see what we can find inside Sovereign Hill. Alright, so we are back at the cabin just getting ready to go out for dinner tonight. We had an absolutely amazing day in Sovereign Hill. It was so much fun. It is so well put together and really, really reasonably priced for everything as well. We were thinking that because we were in the middle of a theme park, everything would be really expensive, but everything was so cheap and just such a great experience. We've both come away, we've learned a whole heap of things. We did a underground mine tour. We went down into an old mine and it was absolutely amazing, and they're really cold, but absolutely amazing. I made my candle and we just had such a great time. But we've come back, we've just got changed and we're about to head out, and we're going to go and get on what is called the Q train, which is a steam train that runs from an area called Drysdale down to Queenscliff, all through the Ballerine area, which is all about food produce and that sort of thing. So we're going to go and do a 5-course degustation menu on this train. If I can get some footage, I will, but I can't guarantee it because I really want to enjoy this experience with hubby. If I don't get any footage, we will be driving up to Melbourne tomorrow for the last part of our stay. We're going to stop in Geelong and we're going to have a bit of a look around there. I found a cheese train. Hubby also found it as well and told me about it. And we had a look at the menu, and they actually do things like sheep and goat and buffalo cheese as well. So we're going to go and have a look in there on our way through Geelong, and then up to Melbourne for the last part of the stay, and then our conference is next week. So I'll see if we can get some footage tonight, but I can't guarantee it because I really do want to enjoy this whole experience of this steam train and degustation menu. So we're on our way up to Melbourne. We decided to stop off at Geelong and have a look around. Hubby wanted a hat, so we've been into R.M. Williams to go and grab him one from there. And now we've come down to the waterfront. It looks like the Navy boats are having a bit of a race down here. Okay, so we have made it to Melbourne. I didn't do any filming of the room when we first got here because not happy. The first room that we actually checked into was disgusting. It was so dirty. My husband found nail clippings next to the bed. It was dusty. Half the furniture was broken. It was so bad. We were ready just to go and tell them to cancel the room. They actually gave us a few keys and told us to go and have a look at which rooms that we would like to stay in. We found one, which we are in now, which was the best of the bunch, but I'm certainly am not impressed with this hotel. We actually treated ourselves and booked a premium suite, and it was basically, it had a photo stage. So somebody has come in, they've put all these beautiful cushions, all these amenities in the rooms, all these kettles and everything else, and when you come into the rooms, none of that is here. I'll try and put a couple of photos up on the screen of what we thought we were going to get and what we actually did get. And when we went and complained about it, got moved into this room, I said we just got to go. So we actually went and we had an amazing adventure. I was looking for a train station and I put the wrong one into Google Maps, and we ended up walking almost an hour to some dodgy little train station, who knows where. It was called Victoria train station, and I was actually looking for Flinders Street, and I said let's just get on the train, we'll get off at Flinders Street station because that's where I'm trying to get us to. So we did that. We worked out how to get ourselves a little travel card on our phones and stuff, got all that done and got down to Flinders Street station, and it is just absolutely beautiful. I will take the camera with me and show pictures on Tuesday. We're going to go and do some more exploring, so I'll get some footage then, but we did find it, and we went down all the little alleyways, found something for dinner, and now we're back at this hotel. We're just going to have a drink and go to bed. I think it's just so disappointed. I'm not going to say the hotel because I don't want to do that, but I'm certainly going to be leaving reviews that do say that you don't get what you actually book. Tomorrow, Monday, that is conference day, so I am going to take the camera with me. I'll get a little bit of footage while we're down there, and then Tuesday we're going to go and explore the city, and then I think on Wednesday we're going to explore somewhere outside the city because I don't know, I'm sorry for all you guys that live down here, but Melbourne would have to be one of the dirtiest cities I have ever visited. We're walking up the street, we could have actually hired a whole brand new wardrobe of clothes plus a suitcase. That's what we found on the street. It is just so dirty. I really don't understand it. There's rubbish bins out there, but we've seen people walking along, they finish their drink and they just put it on the ground. It's just, I'm just absolutely stunned. So I said we'll do one day of exploring in the city, but then we're going to have to go back out and go and explore the countryside because it's not pretty. Sorry guys that live down in Melbourne. I love the old buildings, and I'm going to try and show you guys some of that, but the state of the street, which you'll probably see on the camera, it's just, come on guys, get your city clean. It could be so beautiful with all the old buildings and stuff that are here. Like down there, it's a beautiful old building, and yet there'll be rubbish and all sorts on the street. It's really quite sad. But enough of that. Let's talk good things. Tomorrow's the conference. Hubby and I are going to go and have a drink, listen to a bit of music and stuff before we head off to bed. So I will see you at the conference tomorrow. Alright, what a day it's been. Back at the hotel, it's about 8 o'clock now. The conference was fantastical. Day one of the conference was really good. I did my speech. I was as nervous as anything but got through it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the water hot enough to actually demonstrate how to make a lotion, but there is a video for everyone to go and watch as well, so they can actually see the whole process of how to do it. But I hope people got some good information out of it. I know I got plenty of really good information out of everyone that was there. I was blown away by Wild Emery, and her packaging of her products is just, oh, dreams, inspiration, this is my next level sort of thing. Absolutely stunning. I also learned Pure Candle Supplies was there, and they were talking about making pillar candles, and I have had a go at this in the past. And then I kind of had a almost self-imposed hubby ban on me making pillar candles because I kept getting wax everywhere, all over the carpets and stuff. But now that I've actually listened to a few things that were said, I'm prepared to give it another go. Now I know what I was possibly actually doing wrong, so I'm going to give pillar candles another go. We had Rhonda, who did a bath bomb demonstration, how to make them, gave some really good tips there as well. So I may see if bath bombs and I can become friends, but I'm not holding my breath for that one. And then Crafted Surprise were also there, who showed some of their pieces, that some of their molds and equipment that they have, and I already have their soap planer, but it was lovely to meet them as well as meet so many other people. I felt like being a child again, going around with my mum, and my mum knowing everybody, and them all knowing who I am and me not knowing who anyone else is. But it was so lovely to actually finally put faces to names, because I recognized a lot of names from people who do follow me, who watch me on YouTube and that sort of thing. So it was so lovely to meet everyone. Really, really great day. I'm going to show you what was in our little goodie box in a moment. Hubby and I have just got back from walking around the city. He came and picked me up. We came back, I put some comfy shoes on, and we just went to Chinatown to go and have some dinner and a bit of a wander around the city. We saw some brilliant buskers out there. Really, really good night. Hubby had a little bit of a win with our hotel. He went and actually spoke to the manager today, and the manager who will be taking over next week, and explained just how terrible this whole place is. And maintenance did come up, and they fixed the toilet, they fixed the shower, they sent housekeeping back in to give it a full clean. They've still missed, like, I found toothpaste stuck on the wall, and they've still missed all of that stuff, but apparently they did give a really good vacuum. This bed that I'm sitting on right now, last night it was the most uncomfortable sleep. I could have actually slept on the floor and been more comfortable. And my hubby, he came up here and he ripped all the sheets off the bed. He thought, no, they're gonna clean this room properly. Not something we normally do, like, we're not those people, but this place is, I'm calling it faulty towers. But he took all the sheets off, and then discovered the mattress on this bed. Some mattresses you have to flip over and rotate. Some mattresses you rotate only, and you don't flip over. This is one that you don't flip over, and someone has flipped the mattress over. So we're actually sleeping on the hard side of the mattress. So he's flipped it back over, got them to make it, and it actually feels quite comfortable again. So I don't know what they're going to do. They did give us free parking, so that's saved us $100, but we've also said there's so many other issues that we are going to report them to What If. We have now actually come to the realization that this is pretty much student accommodation on all the floors below us. All these students going up and down the lifts, holding the lifts up. That's what it is. It's student accommodation with some hotel rooms up, some rooms up the top for travellers to stay in, we shall say, because we're actually surrounded by RMIT, which is something to do with, I think it might be Royal Melbourne something, I don't know. It's one of the universities. There's buildings all around us that are part of this, so we're pretty sure that this is actually student accommodation with some accommodation for travellers. I'm not going to call it a hotel. Anywho, let's stop whinging about this hotel. Let's check out everything that was actually in this box. Apart from the 2 things I put into the box, because I have taken them out so other people at the table could have them. That was, I put in the pot of moisturizer, and I also put in, I'm just taking out some of my extra stuff as well. There was a pot of moisturizer that I donated, and there was also a little Pimp My Soap sampler pack. But let's take a look at some of the other things, because oh, it was so exciting opening this up. So there was this great big box. So there was this great big box sitting on the table when we got there, and opening it up, there were all these little goodies in here. So we have these beautiful Australian Bush Balm mint relaxing salts from Blossom Gum Soapery. They just sound absolutely amazing, look really pretty as well, and that's a big bag at 300 grams. Absolutely amazing that one is. And then we had, oh, that was from another one of the samples. We had from Nelson Soapery. She's put in a couple of things, and Rhonda was the one who organised this entire conference. It's been so good. She's put in a bath bomb in here, scented in champagne and roses. Let me see, I love the tissue paper here, absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got our bath bomb in there. And then, oh, this is just so sweet. I remember seeing Rhonda showing these as a reel over on Instagram. She was making these little ceramic bathtubs, and I just think they are the absolute cutest thing. So I think the idea will be, because she's put on the box here, that it's a prop bath. So I think this will be perfect to use in photography items, just to sit little soaps and things like that in. It is so super cute. Look at the mess I'm making here. We had a beautiful lip balm in here from Cada Naturals. Tastes absolutely delicious. I actually did end up with a couple of these, so I gave one to hubby. Well, I gave 2 to hubby, and I've kept one for myself. He uses them a lot more. We had a beautiful sample from Scents and Suds. Gave everyone a little 50ml sample of the Brambleberry fragrances. Everyone got something different. There were a few different ones. Originally I had rose quartz, but then I smelt this sunshine poppies and absolutely loved it, so I went and found one and swapped it over so I could have that one. Looking forward to using that. That's the recipe. That's the little booklet that I included for everyone who went for the talk. We have in here, this is from Sudoff, so that's your little shrink wrap opener. I love the design. There were lots of different designs. There were some little ducks and some stars and things on there as well, but I really liked this little heart, and there were different colored ones too, I noticed, so that was cute. My lollies were actually in this little bag. This is from Crafted Surprise, and this is such an amazing freebie to have got in here. It is a soap beveler. So basically you put your soap in behind here, and then you use your little tool to scrape down to make all your different beveled edges. So that was a little freebie gift, and they said they included the 5mm in the pack here. So yeah, there were lots of really nice things. I met some lovely people. This is Wild Emery's business card. She has a photography background, and it is just, her work is just, oh, absolutely stunning. And there were a couple of other people there as well. I was also given this one from Lavinia. She was telling me how she uses a lot of native herbal medicine, and this rub just smells absolutely beautiful. It's got some ylang ylang in, and anyone that knows me knows that that is my favorite essential oil. This is hard to get it off with one hand. That is the Panic Relief Balm, and it just smells so good. You feel really, really relaxed when you smell it. So I think I'm going to really look forward to actually using that. I could have done with this before I did my talk, but I could actually feel that whole relief when I was kind of I had a little bit of a sample of it. So it was an absolutely awesome day. There is a day 2 to the conference, but it is just the gala dinner. They decided to split it up this year rather than having it all as one day. So tomorrow morning, hubby and I are going to go be tourists around Melbourne. Hubby wants to go up Sky Deck or the Sky Tower, so we're going to go and do that. We're going to go and do the Queen Victoria markets, do a bit of a travel around on the trams, and then tomorrow night we will also then head down to the gala dinner, which is about 6 o'clock. The place where it's all at, it's about half an hour away from where we are. Driving the city roads is very, very interesting. But I'm going to take you along tomorrow and show you some of the prettier sites of Melbourne. And you'll probably see some of the questionable sites as well. But I'm going to go and have a drink and then we're going to go to bed.
Good morning, it is Tuesday. The gala dinner is on tonight, but hubby and I are going to go and explore this city. We discovered last night that this building down here, I decided I'm just dragging hubby down little alleyways and into buildings and stuff where I'm seeing a lot of people. I was seeing a lot of people go across the crossing and in through the door, so I decided I'm going to go and have a look at what's in here. It is basically student accommodation all in the back, but we discovered through all of the artwork just inside the doorway, that's the old Carlton Brewery. For those of you overseas, Carlton is one of the beer companies that we've had here in Australia, and when you look closely, I'll see if I can zoom in on it. So you can see just in the sort of, let's see if we can point, oh, there we are, in that sort of triangular bit, you can actually just make out the CB in the artwork of there, and that is for Carlton Brewery. So we're pretty excited to find that. One of the things I do love about old buildings, yes, I've got my beanie on, it's only meant to be 21 degrees, we're sitting about 10 degrees this morning, so I'm frozen. But one of the things I do love about the old buildings around here, you can actually see what they were originally built for. We've seen like post offices, wool stock sheds, all sorts. So you actually engrave what the names were or put the raised lettering on the walls. So it's absolutely fascinating to see. Just around the corner, there's an old bathhouse. So many years ago, before people had running water in their homes and that sort of thing, you used to have the bathhouses where everyone used to go and bathe and swim and that sort of thing. And there's an old bathhouse around there, and it is actually still used as a pool and also has a gymnasium and things in there as well. So that's really nice to actually see. We're going to go and do a bit more exploring today. We're going to go around the Queen Victoria markets, which we've heard is meant to be really good to go and have a look at. Going to get myself one of these shopping bags I keep seeing everyone with as well. So they're like a 5-minute walk around the corner, and then hubby and I are going to jump on the trams. A lot of the inner city trams are actually free to travel on, and then there's a couple where we will actually pay to get ourselves across into South Bank and things like that. But hubby wants to go and do Sky Deck, so we're going to go and do that today as well, but we're going to jump on the tram and travel around there, so that should be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this station that's just down the bottom of our thing here is not within the free zone, but I think it will only cost like $1 or something to travel down into the free zone on it. But as I said, the markets are only a 5-minute walk around the corner, and then they are in the free zone, and then we'll jump on that city circle, they call it, and we'll go and have a bit of an explore, and I'll take you along today and show you, and then tonight we'll be going to that gala dinner.
really interesting trip. We went and did the number 35 tram around the city, very rickety old tram. We are going to go and try one of the new ones as well, but we're now in South Bank. I just spotted these bees on this building. We're going to go and find Sky Deck, and we're going to go and take a look at the city from up above. It's a bit of a change of plan. Silly me didn't check what time Sky Deck opened. I thought it would be open by 10 o'clock, but no, it doesn't open until 12 o'clock. One thing I am forgetting down here is everything just seems to get started so much later. So what we're going to do is going to head back over the river on this bridge, and we're going to go and head over. There's a big spire over there, and that is the cathedral, and it just looked absolutely stunning. I love looking in old churches, just the architecture and the stained glass windows and everything else. So I said to hubby, we'll walk back over, we'll go and have a look in the cathedral, and then we'll come back to Sky Deck. I always find it so amazing to see these things. This was apparently bought into Australia in 1874, and look at all this fine detail. This would all be hand carved, and there is no way we would be able to recreate something like this. It's absolutely fascinating.
Good morning, everyone. The gala dinner last night was so brilliant. It was so good to meet everyone, put faces to names, met some wonderful suppliers as well. Had a beautiful dinner. Rhonda has done such a wonderful job of putting together the conference. I highly recommend coming along, whether it's virtually or in person. In person's really good because you do get to meet so many people. But today is our last day here last full day in Victoria, and we decided that we had to get out of the city and come and remind ourselves how beautiful this place is. So I said we'd come up to the Dandenong Ranges. I didn't realise this place is here. This is called Sky High Mount Dandenong. We were driving past it. I said let's stop, and I know that hubby is absolutely going to love it here. It's very, very cloudy at the moment. It's about 17 degrees, but once all this clouds kind of lifts, we're going to be able to hopefully see across the Dandenong Ranges. You can see it all moving in across here. It's absolutely amazing. We've got a restaurant. We'll come back here and have a bit of lunch. There's meant to be a maze here that you can go around, and a possum place, and we're looking forward to being a bit of a tourist today again. This part of Victoria, I'm loving this sort of countryside, mountainous sort of side of place. Now I do want to actually say one thing, that we've discovered things along this sort of way. So I said that I felt that Melbourne was really, really dirty, lots of litter and stuff like that. I honestly think, yes, I have got my hat on again today, I honestly think we have actually arrived into Melbourne on completely the wrong day. We got in to from the country areas on a Sunday. Now some of the country areas, there is a lot of rubbish on the sides of roads. We've seen mattresses, lots of plastic stuff. We've seen things which have obviously come off workmen's utes and stuff like that. We've seen all that, but when we got into the city, it was just filthy. And we've come to the conclusion that what's happened is everyone has been out doing whatever people do in the city on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday night, and have, for want of a better way of describing it, have basically trashed the city. And then on Monday afternoon, after I'd done the conference, hubby and I went for a walk down to Chinatown, and we started to see a lot of street sweepers and all that sort of stuff, and we saw quite a few on Tuesday as we were walking around, and by Tuesday afternoon the city actually felt clean again. So it was such a shame that we arrived on a day where obviously, there was a lot of football on here. Melbourne are very big on their sports, so we think just people have been out in the city and just trashed it. That's the only sort of way we can describe it. If we had arrived on the Tuesday, I think we would have had a far better first impression of the city, but it has actually left a pretty lasting impression on us. But this is what we love so far about Melbourne. It's absolutely stunning. We're going to have a bit of a walk around here and see what we can find and see. And you can already see now that that cloud that we just walked up into has started to clear. So I think as we walk around here, we're going to see a lot more stuff. So let's go and investigate. We have no idea if we're actually on a walking track that goes around in a circuit. We've just gone to try and do another circuit walk. Discovered it was actually 1.5 kilometres, but the first sign we saw had actually been knocked down, so we think we'd already walked about half a kilometre before we saw this sign. But we'd walked half a kilometre down a hill, and my asthma's so bad down here, I said I can't do this, we have to go back up. And we found a smaller walk to do. It's absolutely stunning. Hubby saw a bunny me hop along the footpath. I'm just enjoying listening to the birds. It's a rosella, and I can just see him, but I don't think I'm going to be able to zoom in. We just found another bit of track to take us back up and got a far better picture of that little rosella. He's just flown over into another tree and hubby's calling to him as well. So we've just had a little bit to eat up at that sky deck, and now we've come down to a little village called Olinda, and we're going to go and have a look at some of these really cute little shops that are around. I'm back at this place again. We've had such an awesome day exploring the Dandenong Ranges and all the little villages as well. We finally found some little shops that had collectives of like locally handmade. I picked up these gorgeous earrings by Fuzzy and Pip, and they're actually made up in the Dandenong Ranges. It's a bit of a mouthful when you're tired. We also picked up some nice chutney to take home for my mother-in-law, as well as a few other little handmade bits. It's so hard to find touristy handmade things in the city because a lot of it is geared at the international tourist, and I don't want to take made in China things home as souvenirs for people. So we're thinking if we can't find too much more for the other people, we're going to do a dinner or something when we get home. But we've had such a great day exploring. We're back here. What we're going to do is go and catch a tram and go and explore that way a little bit, to go and see what's down there, and then we're going to go and find some dinner, and then tomorrow we are heading off to the airport. I'm so glad to be leaving this building, but today's been a really nice day going out. The Dandenong Ranges are absolutely stunning. We have, despite my complaining about the city, we have actually had an awesome holiday. It's just been, this building has just really dampened that sort of experience, but apart from that, we have had a wonderful time. So tomorrow we're actually going to treat ourselves to a little bit of sleep in tomorrow before we head off over to the airport. We don't fly out until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we can stay here until that 10 o'clock and then go drop the car off and head off to the airport. So we'll have a sleep in. And we'll probably go and just do a last minute explore of the city before we go as well. But I'm sure I'll be able to check in with you in the morning before we start heading home. What a treat, our final day in Melbourne. We've just come out to get a bit of breakfast and this massive storm is about to roll on through. Look how fast they drive down here. It's absolutely amazing. We've got rumbles of thunder, it's raining heavy. Yeah, we're going to enjoy our breakfast and hopefully it'll be passed over by the time we are ready to go back. Oh, now everyone's got to actually do the right thing at these lights. We've seen people zooming through on red lights at this intersection while waiting. So we're going to have a coffee, we're going to go back, finish packing up our bags and then go and drop off the car and make our way to the airport. We don't fly out till 2 o'clock, but we have basically seen everything that we want to. Possibly hear a little bit of the thunder, may have seen some of those little lightning strikes as well. But yeah, what a way to end our trip. We have been pretty lucky. We've had beautiful weather. It's been a lot colder down here than I expected. It was about, most days got no hotter than 24 apart from one day. And this is the first time we've had really heavy rain. So as you can see, I am back in the shop. We've been back for a few days now. We're getting back into normal life. You know,
got the washing done, mowed the grass. I actually went and got my car serviced and that sort of thing. Mum brought Lucy back to us, and I wish I'd had my camera with me. She does this thing where she grins and she lifts all of her lips up into this big smiley, funny looking choppy smile. I wish I'd had the camera with me to actually capture it, but I wasn't expecting. I knew Mum was bringing her back, but I thought I still had another 10 minutes until she was due home, so I didn't have the camera with me to capture it, but she was so happy to be back home. Mum has been walking her for us while we're away. My mother lives in a really flat sort of area, so she was able to take Lucy for lots of walks and gradually build up the strength in her back leg. Where we're in a very hilly area, and it was really hard for me to get her on those longer sort of walks without her coming back a little bit stiff in the joint from having her surgery. But Mum was able to take her for, like, she started off in little, 1.5 kilometre walks and got her up to the 4.5k that Lucy and I are used to doing. So these last couple of days, Lucy and I have been off doing our big walks. Though this morning she decided she didn't want a big walk because it was pretty hot, so she actually chooses what route that we go on. I just follow her along, and she actually took a shortcut back to the house because it was so warm, but she's doing really, really well. Now, we did thoroughly enjoy our time away. What you would have got from a lot of the footage that I've been editing for you is that I'm very much more so into the natural wonders, natural beauties of a country rather than exploring the inner city side of things. I do find that we've got some beautiful landmarks here in Australia that, because it was a little bit grey and overcast while we were away in certain areas, you probably didn't quite get the true beauty, and it's always going to be better in person anyway. But it was so exciting to see some of the things that I've wanted to see for a long time, and I'm so glad I finally got to see them. A little bit of an update with the hotel. I did contact What If when we got home, explained why we weren't able to check out the first 2 days. It was going to be not impossible, but it was going to be very difficult to try and find somewhere else to stay. And by the time you've done 2 nights, you may as well do the other 2 nights. What If did call the hotel, and they have denied everything, saying that no students live there and all this sort of stuff. So I've actually now gone to my bank, and according to the Victorian Consumer Association, the photos that they've displayed on the websites for their property, including their own website, are very false and misleading. So the bank is actually looking into it, looking at the fact that I thought I was booking a hotel with certain amenities, and when we got there, those amenities are not there. Student accommodation, a lot of the facilities like the spa, pool and gym were just not fit and clean enough for the general public to actually go in and use. So we've taken that up with the bank, and my husband has also filled in all the forms for the Victoria Fire and Safety reviews and sent off the pictures of the blocked fire exits as well. So it's not something that we usually do, but considering we were on the 10th floor, we would never have been able to get out that building had there have been a incident. And after I read some of the Google reviews, which I wish I'd read first, there are several other people on there who have actually said they were evacuated out of the building, and there were things like Besser blocks in the fire exits. So extremely dangerous. So we have reported them. If I hear anything back, I'll certainly let you guys know. But yeah, very, very dodgy hotel. Certainly left a great impression. As far as the conference, it's superb. I am so glad I attended. Even if I wasn't presenting, I would have loved to have just been there as an attendee as well. Despite the fact that I share so much information with patrons and everything else, I actually took a lot away from that conference as well. I learned a lot and can't wait to start applying it in here. In particular, I learned a few things about pillar candles, which is something I tried
many years ago and failed that miserably, and have always wanted to do them again. So I'm going to have a bit of a play with that. And there were a few other things I learned too. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for putting that together. I have absolutely no idea how you did it. I know how hard it is to run a business, do all your socials, run Patreon, do YouTube and everything else. And then she threw a conference in on top of that. It just blows my mind how she managed to pull all of that together. And not only that, she does live about 2 hours away from where that conference venue is. So the logistics of planning that conference was just, she's done so well. I highly recommend going, whether you attend it in person or virtually. If you are overseas, I do also highly recommend having a look at coming virtually. Although it is the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, there was only actually one business there that was purely aimed at Australians, and that was to do with the molds and the cutters and that sort of thing. Everything else, all the other talks that we had, could be applied to any business anywhere in the world. So just because you are in the US or the UK or Europe or New Zealand or anywhere like that, don't feel that you can't attend this conference virtually. I'm sure you will get something out of it if you do. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So as I said, we are back home. I did buy a few fragrances while I was there, so I will be doing some videos on those very soon. I think that is about it. I did try desperately hard to try and capture some of this vehicle or driving footage I kept talking about, and every time I pulled the camera, everyone suddenly started behaving, so I wasn't able to get any of that. However, at the end of this video, I am going to put down an extremely extreme version of some crazy driving that we saw down there. I did contemplate whether putting this in. This is not indicative of how the people were driving down there. This person is clearly on something, and I was recording it because the car we were in didn't have a dash cam, and I was actually quite concerned that they were going to cause an accident, so I was filming it in case they caused an accident and we could actually give the footage to the police if needed. Thankfully, this person didn't cause an accident on the road that we were on, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did have an accident when he shot off this main road. But I have put that there so you could actually see one of the most extreme things I have ever seen on a road. So I will do that, and yeah, I think that is it. I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me on our little Melbourne Victoria trip. If you are overseas, I hope it has given you some inspiration to come and visit this beautiful country as well, and some of the things that you too can see. Thank you so much for coming along with me, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you then. Bye.